Hi, and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with all the players that have been linked with a January transfer move to the Arsenal. And of course, today is January the 2nd, and that means that the transfer window has officially opened. Clubs can do business from today, and the question, of course, on everybody's lips is, are Arsenal going to be busy in this transfer window? Manager Arsene Wenger said, listen, we're very busy in the window. We're looking at various players, but we've heard it before from Arsene Wenger. We've heard, I'm going to be busy before in the summer. And he wasn't very busy, was he? He just brought in Petr Cech, and no outfield player. Listen, with the amount of injuries that Arsenal have got, it's a real sort of juggling game with the position where Arsenal are in the table at the moment, which is first. If they make the right signings, strengthening the right positions, they will give themselves a real chance of winning the title this year. So it's going to be really, really interesting what Arsenal do. We had a look at many of the players being linked yesterday. And one of the players we spoke about yesterday and still being mentioned a lot around all of the media outlets is Adrien Rabiot. Rabiot, he's 20 years of age, plays for PSG. As I said yesterday, he's kind of bit of a boo boy over there at PSG at the moment because he's been making lots of sounds about wanting to move from Paris Saint-Germain. Arsenal apparently very interested in him. There's two ways they could get him, apparently. They could get him on loan, which would make sense if you ask me. Get him on loan, see what he's made of, see what cover he could offer, or permanent deal, which would be about £50 million. He is considered one of France's hot prospects in the midfield area, and we do need cover for that area. I mean, there is talk today that players are starting to get on their way back. Mikel Arteta apparently is on his way back. Will be back early from his injury, but this guy possibly an upgrade, young, more dynamic, more of a box-to-box midfielder. But Arsenal being heavily linked with a move for Adrien Rabiot. Another interesting link today is that one of Isco. Now, Isco, again, another player who is super, super talented. He's only 23 years of age. 25 million he costs. He's at Real Madrid. The guy's an excellent talent, but you know what Madrid's team's like. They're loaded up with loads and loads and loads of talented midfielders. Isco can't get a game, and he's been angling for a move. Apparently, his representatives are meeting with the Real Madrid board next week to, talk about his future. But the rumours are that he's angling for a move to Manchester City. If I was Arsene Wenger, I'd be looking at Isco hard, because Isco for me would be the perfect player to replace Santi Cazorla long term. Remember, Cazorla is moving into his 30s now. So for me, he'd be a perfect replacement. Whether Wenger's looking at Isco or not is another matter. But Isco could be a player that could be available in this window. And for me, they're saying his valuation is about 25 million. He would be worth every penny of that and would be a great addition at Arsenal. And we are short in that area. I mean, my man here, even Jack Wilshere, at the moment, when's he going to come back? We really need to think about strengthening. Of course, the player that we know is virtually nailed on is coming in is Mohamed Elneny. Elneny is still working on that, waiting on that work permit. I spoke about that on yesterday's show, the fact that because Egypt are not in the top 50 clubs, countries in the world, you have to work harder to get the work permit. And he will still get done because they're 57. He's a regular for Egypt, but that has been the hold-up at the moment. And I would have thought that Arsenal would really want to get him in before that FA Cup game next week so that he could get a debut and get a run out in that game. That would be perfect for him. So let's see what happens over the next few days with Elneny. A player that could be on his way out, though, is Matthew Debuchy. We spoke about this as well yesterday. Debuchy has been linked with a move to Roma. Now, Roma looking for a long-term replacement for Maicon. May be interested in moving for Debuchy. Debuchy, as we know, wants first-team football, wants to get into that French national team come the Euros, and could be on his way out to Roma, amongst other clubs, actually, that are very interested in the Debuchy situation. If Debuchy goes out, does that leave us short at right back? I mean, Callum Chambers, as we know, was covering that position, but I don't know how good he is at right back. Could it be that we go for a recall of Carl Jenkinson? Carl Jenkinson, he's, of course, over there at West Ham. Again, Arsenal apparently reportedly very disappointed in the lack of playing time that Carl Jenkins has been getting. He's only started 12 of 19 games this season. But is there a recall clause? That is one thing that a lot of people seem to be very uncertain of, if there's a recall clause or not. But Carl Jenkinson, many people are saying maybe Arsenal may, if they move Debuchy out, go and recall him, because if anything happened to Bellerin, and again, remember, we're chasing the title this year. We don't want to leave ourselves short in any areas, even if it means, you know, keeping someone like Debuchy happy. Listen, we need cover because we want to win the title. Arsenal pay his wages. For me, if they haven't got adequate cover, he doesn't go anywhere. That's how it should be. But we know that Arsene Wenger can be very, very loyal, too loyal to players sometimes. Linked today to Riyad Mahrez. Now, listen, a lot of us would love to see this happen. This guy is a brilliant player. He was bought by Leicester for £400,000. This is that, you know what, when everybody's always going on about big names and, you know, that name's not big enough. Listen, this guy, as I said, was bought for £400,000, now valued at £25 million. Listen, he's not going to be moving in January. He himself has come out and said, I'm not going anywhere in January. Leicester don't want to sell him. Leicester, they've got rich owners. They don't really have to sell him at the moment. They want to get us high. Well, they're going for the title as well. Let's remember, they're on equal points with us. Plus, as well, they want to get into the top four. Mahrez, though, could be leaving in the summer. And it's been reported that Arsenal have sort of stolen march on all of their rivals and have gone to Leicester and said, listen, they've made a firm inquiry. We want him. How much? So we're going to have to watch this space on that. Won't be happening in January, as I said, but this could be a possibility in the summer. And looking at Riyad Mahrez and the way he plays, he looks the sort of player that would suit Arsenal absolutely down to the T. Would be a very exciting addition at Arsenal if they were able to pull that off. If Leicester sell him. I mean, they're flying at the moment. Another player linked with Arsenal is Marcelo Brozovic. Now, Brozovic is Croatian. He's on loan at the moment to Inter Milan from Dinamo Zagreb. And Inter Milan have said, listen, anybody wants to buy him, we want 18.4 million. Now, I'm still trying to work out how this would work because he's on loan to Milan. I know they've got the option to buy, but what, would they buy him and sell him straight away? I'm not sure how that works, but lots of media outlets today are linking us with him. We were linked with this guy before he went to Milan on loan. He's one of those players throughout the summer who was being linked heavily with Arsenal. I'm not sure how that deal could work out if he's already on loan at Inter Milan. Somebody might have to explain this one to me, but he has been linked with a move to Arsenal. And finally, this guy who used to play for Arsenal. He goes by the name of, check the pronunciation now, Ozcip. Very hard to pronounce. He's Turkish, 23 years of age. He used to play for I've seen him play a couple of times. Decent little player. Was in the Arsenal youth team. Left Arsenal in 2012, and he's went to play for Besiktas. And he's been doing really well at Besiktas. And now Arsenal being linked with a move for him, possibly to bring him back. Now, again, it's possible for this window if Arsenal wanted to make it happen. But again, a lot of people's reporting that if it does happen, more likely to be the summer rather than right now. But that'd be a strange one, wouldn't it, to bring him back to Arsenal after he's moved on and is doing so well at Besiktas. But hey, you know, Arsene Wenger might look on it and say, you know what, it's one of the ones that I got wrong. I shouldn't have moved him out, because he has been doing really, really well for Besiktas out there on loan. Let's have a look at what you guys have had to say. I was asking you guys a question yesterday. Who would you like to see coming into Arsenal? Who would you think would be good additions? 5050X says, people who believe that Chicharito will make a move to Arsenal this month are deluded. He's on fire at Leverkusen right now, and he's only been there since August. I was talking about Chicharito yesterday. Of course, there was this rumour that Alexis Sanchez has been urging Arsene Wenger to sign him. It would be highly unlikely that Leverkusen would sell the guy. So hot at the moment in the Bundesliga, just won Player of the Month again. But hey, stranger things have happened. IBZLBZY10 says, what about Kevin Prince Boateng? He's a good midfielder. He's 30. He's from Ghana. He's very good at taking long shots. Plus, he's got 6 months left until his contract expires. What do you think? I don't think so. Decent player, very skillful player, but I don't know. He just seems to be one of those players that would come in and mess up the dressing room. You know what I mean? He's one of those players that he's sort of in the Adebayor type of category of very selfless. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't think he would suit what Arsenal are looking for, but he is a talented player. Islam Mustafa says, can't wait to see Elneny wearing an Arsenal t-shirt. Come on, you Gunners. We're going to do this, he says. Of course, Elneny, that's days away, I think. Maxim Perret says, if we were to sign a striker, we should go for Michy Batshuayi. He's only 22 years of age. Second best goal scorer in Liga 1 behind Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Still young and would accept to be on the bench at times. So he'll be able to coexist with Giroud while developing. Finally, he's technically gifted. He's really good at link-up plays, and he would fit perfectly in with the team. Batshuayi, is another player that's getting linked with many clubs across Europe. I think he's a Belgium international. He has been doing really, really well for Marseille. Would they sell him? That is the question. Would they sell him? I suppose those sort of clubs, if the deal's big enough, he'll go. It depends how badly Arsenal feel they need a striker. PS3 Uploader says, it's nice that Wenger is on the lookout for youngsters as always, but for me, that does not solve the problem at hand. And what is proper backup for injuries? He says, can these young guys provide a good cover? I would say we need to go out there and get mature players to bring in. Try to get older players that are 25 or 26 years of age. I don't know. Listen, if the players is a player that plays regularly, he may be able to come in and do a job. He may have that experience to come in straight away. But again, we're going to have to watch this space and see who Arsene Wenger is going to bring in. It looks like Elneny is a definite. I'd say, looking at it, I can't see Wenger bringing in more than, say, 2 players. 3 players maximum. If he sees some real gems out there that he could get, maybe. But if you look at him, normally in January, he does maybe 1, 2 signings. You know, I think what Arsenal's are going to be looking at is they need this guy come in, defensive midfielder cover. Once they've got him in, they'll be looking around to see if there are any sort of good deals, you know, Arsenal, any good deals, any really talented players that, you know, we can actually bring in, or even players that they're looking at in the summer that they think, oh, you know what, we could actually go and get him now. Those are the sort of things that might happen. So I feel an early deal from Arsenal, then the rest of whatever they do is going to be lastminute.com, like what they always do. It's the Arsenal way. So we have to watch this space. Don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow, a little bit earlier tomorrow, with Transfer Daily. Of course, we're here right throughout the month of January, keeping you up to date with all the latest Arsenal transfer rumours. And don't forget to check out our shop, AFTV Transfer Daily. You can get tees just like this, are all on sale at the moment. So if you're looking for a sale deal, check it out. Thanks for watching today. We'll be back at the same time. Well, not the same time, a bit earlier tomorrow.